Ever wondered what's actually the Sinister's goal in the Skibidi Multiverse? The Skibidi scientist? Or how about the future Clockman? Today, I'm going to explain the goals of each character in the Skibidi Multiverse, and if they're ever going to achieve these goals. So, let's start with the Speaker Titan. What possibly could be his goal in the series? We see how he fights passionately for the Alliance, taking it all out on the toilets, destroying them. But due to his behavior, his ultimate goal in the series is to protect the Alliance against threats, both the Skibidis and the aliens, anything that would pose a danger to the Alliance. This explains his passionate fighting that sometimes doesn't make any sense. However, what possibly could be the Camera Titan's goals? The Camera Titan's initial goals were to protect the weak and maintain the Alliance. But then, he got violated by the scientist who infected him, making him do horrible things to his friends. Throughout the series, we saw this resentment toward the scientist, like a personal beef between them. Sadly, he didn't get his revenge directly. The scientist was taken down by the assassin drill man. He still got what he deserved anyway. As of the moment, the Camera Titan is fighting hard to defeat the Skibidis, but then they all have to throw that away and fight against the aliens. Well, I can't wait to see what that would look like. I know it'll be fire because Dom Studio never disappoints. Okay, let's move on to the next character, the Drill Titan. Damn, this Titan has had the most emotional trauma in the series. I mean, he had his entire race obliterated by the Skibidis just for a diversion. That must hurt. So, I guess at that moment, his main goal would have been to take down whoever wiped out his race members. Bro was pissed and wanted to crash out, but was held back by the drill chief. Despite holding back, he still caused a lot of damage, but he was still not the one to get his get back. It was the upgraded Clock Titan. Since the threat has been taken care of, his ultimate goal would be to fight against anyone or anything that'll question the existence of his race members, which was the Skibidis before the truce was formed to unite them together. But we have an even more controversial character, the future Clockman. What do you think is his ultimate goal? Maybe prove that he's not Sinister's son? Okay, I'm joking. But the future Clockman is a very interesting character with his unclear origins. I think his main goal in the series is to regulate time-related events to avoid the full takeover of the Sinister or the aliens, which we see he's actively doing, like when he saved the Alliance from Alpha by sacrificing the Clock Boss to buy time for the clock upgrades. He's just like a cleanup crew. After the Alliance makes a mess or a bigger threat arrives, he'll be able to see into the future and warn them of the danger. But how about the Clock Boss? Well, as a leader, his goal would be to lead the clock race. In the series, the Clock Boss mostly makes decisions for the entire Alliance, so you can see him as the chief of the whole group. His goals would be to lead as effectively as possible and do anything to make sure the Alliance survives, which explains why he stood at the base and ordered the rest of the race members to retreat to safety. I still think maybe the boss knew he'd be stabbed in the back, but allowed it anyway to buy time, which, as we saw, his sacrifice saved the Alliance from the Counter Titan. That's truly a brave leader. However, what do you think Alpha's goals are? That witch. I think her goals just align with those of her masters, but she overstepped, trying her best to please him, maybe to gain more ranks in the alien world or wherever they came from, which led to her being squashed. I mean, if destroying an entire race just for a diversion isn't overstepping, then I don't know what else is. But her search for praise from her master led to her inevitable defeat, which was a huge win for the Alliance. What about her counterpart, the Counter Titan? Well, as she famously calls him, my toy, he was firstly a mere puppet that obeyed all instructions from Alpha. Maybe that's what he was bred for, because he's obviously an insect, a bug. So maybe that's the sole purpose of their species, just to serve the Alliance. But the magnitude of humiliation from the Clock Titan was too much, and Bro deviated from his original path and started chasing revenge against the Clock Titan. To be honest, I think he would have still gotten his butt whooped. But this change later led to him getting abandoned by his master for a more loyal subject, C-Pen. I think he'll betray his race members and join the Alliance to take revenge for being treated like trash. But come to think of it, what's up with C-Pen? What exactly is his deal? Well, C-Pen is actually a machine, let's say a robot. And just like machines, they're programmed to perform a particular task with no emotions, just logic. But when something starts going wrong with these computers, you know they've been tampered with. Maybe someone planted a virus in him, or he still has PTSD from how humans treated computers way back in the past. Now, the evil C-Pen's goal is to wipe every single human from the Earth, as he calls them, human Skibidi toilets. Yeah, clanker. And it's worrying that he's still on the loose. Someone chain up the Mad Dog already. However, our next character is the Pencil Woman. Beautiful and elegant. I really love her design and character. Her goals are quite simple because their race only decided to swoop in last minute to save the Alliance from the Skibidis. But now, it turns out they have even bigger fish to fry, the aliens. I think there's some "I want to impress my father" mixed in, which explains her going all out and exhausting all her energy. Bro should just chill and stop doing too much, conserve her energy and fight strategically. But let's see what happens with the aliens. You know, there's no talking about the pencil without TV with a sword to sharpen it. Okay, forget I said that. TV Titan's first appearance had one goal, his secret mission, which was to make sure the Clock Titan got upgraded as fast as possible. That was achieved. The Clock Titan was upgraded, which was a big win for the Alliance. But despite that secret mission, his goals have been to take the Pencil Woman to an undisclosed location every chance he got, and he was successful in rizzing her up. Yeah, bro got that riz too. Other than that, his main goal was to stop the Skibidis. But with the truce, the goals have shifted away from the Skibidis to the aliens. Just a simple guy, no drama. However, for our next character, we have the Clock Woman. For her character, she seems to care too much about her friends, like when we saw her sacrifice her life for the large TV man by using her last energy to revive him. Her goal would be to make sure all her friends are doing all right with the little she can contribute, even if it means laying down her own life, which is pretty cool if you ask me. But for the assassin drill man, what could possibly be his goal in the series? This character is very skilled in combat, as we saw how he was able to 1 versus 4 the Skibidi mutants chasing the remaining members of the drill race, destroying them effortlessly. But where do you think all this rage is stemming from? It's from the fact that the scientist and Alpha wiped out his entire race. He vowed to take down the people who did that to his race. So he fought his way to the Skibidi base, where thankfully he got his get back, as he was the one to pull the trigger on the scientist, which was very satisfying to watch. At least the drills had their justice. For our next character, the Skibidi scientist, maybe he's just a mad scientist. He seemed so hell-bent and resilient to take down the Alliance. We saw countless times when he failed. He'd go back to base and plot another evil plan. His primary goal seemed to be taking over the Alliance, maybe even the Alliance Titans, so he could infect and control them. I mean, take a look at these smiles. Yeah, he's that happy whenever his plans fall into place, but unfortunately, he later paid for his sins at the hands of the drills. Our next character is the Clock Titan, the big daddy of the show. His goals would be to protect all his friends and anyone from the Alliance. We saw him even revive all the Titans destroyed by G-Man, even though it risked melting his core. He still did it anyway. In general, his goal is to fight against anyone, no matter how strong, to protect the Alliance, even if it means laying down his own life, which I guess is highly probable, as Sinister foresaw it. But I hope that won't be the case. I don't want to lose my daddy Clock. I hope he wins the battle. But how about the Psycho Sinister? What possibly could be his motivation for doing all that, causing havoc all around the multiverse? I think there's a deeper plot, or maybe he's just power hungry like most villains and just wants to dominate the entire multiverse to prove he's the strongest. Who knows? For our OG Clock, the champion Clock, his ultimate goal would be to protect and rule over the entire multiverse while maintaining peace and order. I guess that's why he had to make the greatest sacrifice by ordering everything to go back to normal once Sinister has been defeated. That's some insane level of trust in the Alliance to take down Sinister. But let's see how it goes. Do you think the Clock Titan would still be able to defeat the Sinister? Write your thoughts in the comments. And check out this video to see why it sucks to be the Camera Titan. Unique Clockman out.